All right, all right, all right. Here we are. We're back. We are live for another month of the Closing Table Podcast, brought to you by none other than Next Home Brandywine Real Estate, based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. You got myself, Bay Ragney. You got the guy underneath me who is the birthday boy today, hanging out with us. He's going to have a lot of fun. Sadly, we have no cake. We owe Hub a cake, Dan.
We do. I
We
was
do. We
thinking
owe him a
about
cake.
it. We owe Hub a virtual cake.
We got
Thank you
next
so much. Thank you.
next to me, the one and only Mr. Dan Peasy of Next Home Brandywine, who makes all this possible. He brings us the fun, the laughs, and brings you the real estate gold with homes, houses, and everything else. Because it's humans over houses with Next Home Brandywine, and we have our special guests returning. It's hard to believe it's been about a year
It is.
since
Yep.
we last talked to our special guest tonight, the one and only the voice of the Reading Royals, Mr. Erik Jesberger.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me on again. Super excited to crack down another hour with everybody and get excited to talk some Reading Royals hockey. First and foremost, happy birthday, Hub, as well today, and thank you again for having me on, everybody.
Thank you, Eric.
Got audio problems. Hang on here.
Well, while Dan's getting his audio problems fixed, we will also stress everybody to let you know that Next Home Brandywine is the
Here we
preferred
go.
real estate partner of this amazing hockey organization that everybody is going out to see. They've done upgrades, I heard, out there to the
Oh my
arena, and new seats. There's a new lounge.
I'm sorry. I'm a mess. My son sets me up with new earphones, and they're falling out of my big ears, and I'm a mess over here. I'm good now. I got my glasses. Everything's all set. Hi, Eric.
right.
Thanks for
Hey,
joining us.
Dan, you're looking great. I will tell you, that sweater on is
Listen,
one plus,
and
but
we
then
have
that
the white
background's
one.
looking good, too.
So this is one of the new sweaters for this year. I think we're wearing 3. We're switching midway through. I think we're starting with this at home. Am I wrong? And then we go to the white the second half?
It will be the white to start off, and then we'll switch
There we
over
go.
to the dark jersey. So those blacks will be the home jersey. Second half of the season, January 20th, will be that flip over.
And then we also have the orange returning with Reading script diagonally across the front and a ton. We were able to see our friend over at the team store, and there is a ton of great specialty jerseys as well coming up this year. Greg is awesome, and we got a sneak peek at a couple of the newer designs this year for our specialty jerseys. Thanks for bearing with my audio issues as we kick this thing off. One thing I wanted to mention, Delco Jesus was on last month, and we just crushed it. And to his audience, thank you. I think we were well over 1,000 people last night after we were all said and done. It really was off the charts. We appreciate Delco Jesus to us. These guys don't get paid, and we do appreciate them joining the podcast. All right, Erik. So you this year is kind of your first full year outside of college on the scene. Just turned 23. Third year, am I wrong, at the helm of the Royals as the play-by-play voice? Third season, second full season.
Yeah, preparing for the third season on the headset with the team. 2.5 really overall has been my previous years, and excited to get another home opener underway with the club here coming up on the 26th.
So in addition to the play-by-play role, when you get older, you have to wear glasses like me. You are now the media relations manager along with the play-by-play voice of the Royals. And we're going to go through some of the stuff that you've been doing in the role of the media relations manager. How has that been? Erik, the reason I love Erik, he's nonstop work. The guy should be doing a little bit more balanced, but the guy works constantly, tirelessly, and very effectively. So in this media relations manager role, I got a list of things here I sent to the guys that you were a part of, that you helped put together, and some of the events that you guys attended this year. Tell us a little bit about that role and how that's been going for you so far.
Yeah, everything with the media relations is that ultimate position that brings together the front office, the media, of course, around not just the Reading area, but also connections with Philadelphia, whether it be those scouts around the NHL with the Flyers coming down, connecting with the team, with front office staff, but also everything in terms of the marketing. So everything's so important to inform the fans about the players, showing the personal side of things, being a storyteller, both on the air, but also in the media relations position off the air. Comes with the press releases, some of the written content, the interviews I love to share and post as much as I can to my social media. It might seem a little too much when it comes to hockey season. But all in all, it's stuff that, in addition to the play-by-play, which I have the absolute privilege of getting a chance to do for this distinguished organization, it's also everything behind the scenes and make it all come together so everybody knows about the Royals and also enjoys their time as a fan, whether they're here or they're following the team, both in the digital world, as we all know, and as we're doing right here on a show. It's awesome to see you guys continue to flourish and continue to see the great coverage you guys have done with Next Home Brandywine and everything for the show.
Let's talk a minute, since it's real quick. I'm going to sneak this question in about something you've done recently with the Flyers Rookie Series game up at the AHL affiliate with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. You got a chance to be a part. That's awesome. We've attended it before. So, guys, anybody who's on the broadcast here doesn't know, the Flyers do a rookie series where all the rookies that are invited into camp, they normally, and they've done the past several years, played the Rangers up in Lehigh Valley, home of the Phantoms. And Erik has been a part of that in the booth and done some media relations stuff, crossover stuff with the Royals and the Phantoms. Tell me about that experience this year, because it's all those experiences got to be just a blast to be a part of the family, from the Flyers down to the Phantoms down to the Royals.
Yeah, fantastic time. Every opportunity I get to go up to Allentown, to PPL Center, where the rookie series, as you mentioned, Flyers, Rangers, the best prospects in the organizations all coming together. So as every year, a couple Royals, whether it be former Royals or current guys signed, this year was 3 former players who skated right here at Santander Arena. And Mateo Mann, the 19-year-old defenseman, 6'6". I always look at my mom and dad and say, I'm 5'10", and I'm 4 years older than this guy. Thanks for that. But for Mateo Mann, Jacob Gaucher, and Zayde Wisdom, all players right now wearing the orange and black, who were wearing the purple and orange just a couple seasons ago, and last year along with it, get a chance to showcase their skills. So I like to get up there, get a couple interviews, connect our fans through social media with the players, a little check-in style. But also, as you had mentioned, Dan, I appreciate it, was doing the media relations side, getting in the booth with the great voice of the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, Bob Rotruck, as well as helping out their media coordination, handing out some of the stat sheets, updated scores throughout the intermission to local press along the press row. But also, pretty cool moment for me, as always, is handing off some stat sheets to the Flyers management booth, where the brass, Keith Jones, Danny Briere, as well as John Tortorella, all there, of course, focused on the game. Don't want to get in their way, but the Flyers fan in me, deep down, always number 48 growing up was on my jersey. So being one who got a chance and always privileged to speak with Danny Briere whenever our paths have crossed, and as well as Keith Jones, genuine human beings and doing a fantastic job with right now the franchise overall. And it's great to see the trickle down here to Reading that fans should be very much excited for this upcoming season. Go ahead, Hub.
Well, this sounds like a basic question, but with all the things and all the irons that you have on in the fire, how do you keep you have a to-do list of maybe 50 things to do at one time. Is that right? So how do you organize that on a piece of paper? Do you organize it in a computer, or is it, you can't do it all by memory. You've got so many things to prep for too.
Well, and I appreciate that. For me, it's a fantastic team here at the Royals that helps with everything. They have a hand in helping out with the marketing end, some of the community relations side and events, helping coordinate those appearances, whether they're physically there or they're helping make sure they have the marketing material they want on our table. They're making sure they get it to me. So it's a full team effort, and I'm just blessed to have an outstanding work of coworkers, as well as the coaching staff that we're looking forward to seeing as a tandem for the first time at our preseason game on October 12th, with assistant coach Ryan Anderson joining, and now first-year full-time head coach and general manager Jason Binkley. They do a fantastic work with the youth hockey programs. Dan, you see we're out and about at, as well as when the players are looking to make appearances, such as the teddy bear drop-off we did to the St. Luke's Children's Hospital in Bethlehem. They were all for making sure the players were available, making sure they were among the visit, well, along with, of course, Slapshot, which is the line I get the joy of following around all summer long. It's always a great time.
Let me go through some of the things, Hub, that he did along those lines this summer, speaking to what you just brought up, Hub. So he did the Reading Fall Fest. These are just a few things. We mentioned the Flyers Rookie Series in Lehigh. He's involved with the Reading Junior Royals. He co-branded the event with my boy Mac Williams up there in Lancaster that they did between the Stormers and the Royals. They had an event up there with Slapshot. He's involved with the Slapshot charities and the golf outing and all the things they do involved there. He ran the Berks 5K breast cancer run, or is that coming up, Erik? Is that coming up? We did that, right?
That did pass. And it was an awesome day.
Yep. We delivered some Royals prize packs to area businesses. You work with the Reading Booster Club. You win. I heard through the grapevine here you were very good in the batting cage at the Reading Phillies with the Chamber Band up there, right? So I saw you swinging, pretty good swing there, and you were involved in the Muhlenberg National Night Out. So that's just a few things that I'm going through the Facebook post that Erik did this summer in the media relations role. And that was just over the last couple months. So to your point, Hub, this guy's everywhere and always highly professional, well prepared. And to me, I am a big fan of the gentleman. He brings a lot to the table. And I really like this new media relations role because you get out in the community. You're expanding the brand like we try to do through Next Home Brandywine with the Royals. So I wanted to go through a few things that you were involved in this year. It was, like Cub said, it was a busy schedule. How was that for you? All those different diversified events you were able to attend the last few months.
Was wonderful. And to answer your question, Hub, the calendar is my go-to, both on my desktop and on my phone. That is, I make sure to keep that updated for Slapshot. And we have a shared one, so we know where we're going to be at for events. We remind each other. So it all goes full circle to the full team effort that I really have the true privilege of getting a chance to work with so many people here within the Reading Royals organization, along with some interns that come on board. They're always willing and eager to help. And of course, I'm all for that. After all, that's where I started as an intern with Dylan Coyle, who got everything started for me with the Royals, and always shout him out for getting me set up, and absolutely love what he's doing and continuing to get behind the mic and do some PR work as well. For the summer, a lot of great weather went along with the event, so it made it easy for Slapshot and I to meet as many people as possible. And when it comes to the batting cage, as you had mentioned, did a little throwback to my time in high school playing some varsity baseball, and the back was a little sore the next day, but it was an awesome time amongst the entire front office being there. And once again, their help and their support from me cheering me on was awesome. And then the 5K was awesome event as well. And for that, Tammy Doms, as Dan, I know you've had the privilege to get a chance to work with her. She is an absolute, in the hockey words, a beauty, because she's the best in terms of everything she does, providing the support to me, especially when I first got up and going, and from the partnership end of things to bringing partners onto the broadcast with me in the community, meeting them. She is the best, and she makes sure everybody is taken care of, has as much information as possible, along with myself, and certainly wouldn't be where I am today without her help as well.
And let me bring some up real quick, just to mention. Young people don't normally do this, so this is another reason I do appreciate Erik. Thanking people that brought you along. How many times, guys, do I mention Dave Stinson on this broadcast? Right? The guy that helped me get into the real estate business and train me properly so I had the ability to earn money and grow my career. It doesn't ever hurt to thank people. You can't do it all yourself. You need help along the way. By you doing that is very tasteful, professional. To thank the people that helped you get to where you are. It's your hard work that paid off and made you successful to this point. But to mention the people that brought you there, to me, is highly professional. I do it all the time. I notice the next generation, some people, they think they did it all themselves. You don't. All of us had help. Hub in the guitar business, in the music business. Everybody had a mentor or mentors or assistant like Tammy, and we know what these people do behind the scenes, how they help everybody and put you in a like Andy Reid used to say, the best position to make plays, right? So it's a very important point. Hub, Bay, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
I won't shut up. All right, Erik. As you've been the voice and pretty much kind of like the face as well of the Reading Royals this past couple seasons, now that you're taking on being media manager as well, now do you almost kind of feel like this? I mean, this is a sports franchise, and a huge organization, and they're entrusting you with even more power, to the keys to the kingdom over there. Do you almost kind of feel like this is my friggin' team I'm in charge of, and I'm going to make them soar and rise to the highest limits in the sky?
That's always the focus, putting the team in the best light possible on the broadcast. So I will say that's the answer to that end of things on the air. Behind the scenes and in terms of the media, as we share, it's so important is getting the team out for not just the promotion of tickets, everything is, but also making sure the fans can connect to the players. So it puts the players in the best light possible as well. Makes them play better when a couple fans are there and interact and you have somebody to connect with. So I will say that my goal, especially stepping into the additional roles as a media relations and community relations manager, is trying to grow the team. And that being interns, that being local media that may have stepped away from the coverage of the Royals, might have just had some of their own personal matters that they can no longer cover Reading, or they've gone elsewhere, trying to bring that back, because not just the players, not just the coaching staff, but the entire management team president David Farrar, VP of operations Dakota Prosick, and the names I mentioned already in terms of the partnerships area, they all deserve the recognition and the attention that can capture audiences all around the world now when you look at the way we can do shows like this. And news is running all day and there's always a video to watch. So that's my goal, is to grow that end of things and make everybody seen and recognized for their work.
And another thing he does is from the corporate partnership perspective, right? He brings our product to life through the broadcast, right? And it's a lot of us put our trust in him and on our money when you own a company like myself and choose to advertise in the medium of the radio, and Erik's the voice of that. And for a young fella, a lot of us really appreciate his hard work, and we put our money where our mouth is and put it in trust in him to promote our businesses. And that's another big task that he's taken on, and he's brought in some and listen, driving revenue is the main thing, whether it's minor league hockey, professional businesses, if you're a professional guitarist like Hub. So the ability and for your outward personality and how you present yourself with the Royals in the community, you're bringing in revenue through the corporate partnerships like myself and the Next Level Integrated Services and Jimmy G's and everybody else that runs ads on the radio broadcast. So that's a big, that's a heavy shouldered thing, and you've done a good job in the couple seasons growing that and growing these, the radio advertising piece of this thing.
Yeah, and I appreciate those kind words, Dan. Of course, you and I have got a chance to connect and work both behind the scenes and see everything grow on the broadcast end. And the support, I can't share the appreciation enough in these companies such as yourself and these businesses that turn to the Royals Broadcast Network and turn to my voice as a tool to use in the area, because there's a connection with our fan base as well as the growing market, both for the broadcast end of things through the Flow Sports video end, the Mixler radio streaming app, and also hopefully a growing stream into a Flyers broadcast network that we're working on, and to see the additional draw to what we can do audience-wise. It goes back to the trust businesses such as Next Home, Brandywine put in me. So that faith is something I can't share my appreciation enough to as well. And it's always cool to see the moments when Dan Peasy and I can connect, and any chance I get a chance to share the work that Next Home Brandywine does for our local area is always something I look forward to. And it's not just an ad read either. We make sure it's not just catchy, but it's memorable, because Next Home Brandywine does great services. And when you're stepping into your next home, it's like stepping into the next with Parker Hagen this season. They're pretty nice.
Let's talk about real quick. So the AHL had their own broadcast network, and now they are on Flow. So I must have spurred Alexa in my background here. But so now the Phantoms will be on Flow, which I think, Eric, and correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think it's going to help draw viewers because the AHL folks may invest in Flow, which now they can listen to the Royals broadcast, and there's a ton of synergies and players to go back and forth throughout the year from franchise, from the Royals to the Phantoms. So I think it's going to put more exposure on yourself, the quality work you provide, and the Reading Royals product in general, which will help grow, the Royals product as well, being that now Flow has the AHL games on.
Bay and Hub, I think Dan's been peeking at my marketing notes because upcoming is some promotion, and with the fact that Royals fans can now benefit on seeing their players when they make it to that next level, see them right on the Flow Sports they are putting their hard-earned money into to watch. With Royals hockey, now you can watch Phantoms hockey. So as you mentioned, Dan, that the addition of the AHL, American Hockey League, now to Flow Sports, makes it even better for Royals fans who are getting that subscription for Flow Sports. They can now see both their current Royals and maybe some past Royals up at the next level.
I got one more thing on those lines. I just saw it today. Have you seen this? So ECHL Unfiltered is going to be on the NHL Network. Have you seen this? They're starting this year. It starts September 29th at 10 o'clock with the Idaho Steelheads. It's almost like guys with Hard Knocks and different things where they spotlight a team and go behind the scenes. I'm loving that. I saw it today. I sent it to Danny. What do you think of that? Again, more spotlight on the ECHL. I love the product. It's my personal joy to go to ECHL games and enjoy the old school hockey. What do you think of that, Eric, with the ECHL Unfiltered coming to the NHL Network?
The only negative is the fact that the Royals don't play Idaho this year. We had it last year. It would be awesome to see that NHL caliber coverage. It's a huge plus. Any attention to an ECHL team or the league in general is an absolute plus, not just for us, but the entire hockey community, because, it's AA hockey. It's where so many players really get their start out of college. There is the SPHL, Southern Professional Hockey League, and a couple of those overseas leagues, but for the affiliated organizations, it starts with the ECHL. So to have that coverage for Idaho, a first-class organization, is going to be a great, jumping point to jump off everything, and hopefully they can maybe make a pit stop here to Reading. That would be pretty nice.
Right. Go ahead, Hub.
Will you do radio ads all year round? And I would imagine that you will be doing that.
Yeah, with the radio coverage, we do the broadcast both through Flow Sports, which is the streaming TV service, and then it's the Mixler app, which is what my mom and dad tune into. They catch it on the drive or wherever they're at. So that's strictly radio. So something I remember and was really cool to talk through it with you guys last year was streaming and broadcasting to viewers who were able to see the game and those who aren't. So I always go to you're at the mercy of the audience that can't see the game. So that's why when you hear the broadcast coverage, I might add certain points on puck location, where the shot comes from, as simple as whether they're skating left to right or the Royals are skating right to left, what colors they're wearing, because for the radio side of things, it's something that is important to translate because end of the day, you're a storyteller. So you want to try and paint that picture as best as you can. And to always, give some praise where it certainly is due. I always give the shout out to the great voice of the Philadelphia 76ers, Mark Zumoff, who I had the blessing of having a class with at Temple University. You talk about everything Temple provides its students. That is, without a doubt, up there for one of the best classes I've taken. Play-by-play broadcast with Mark Zumoff. I don't think it gets better than that. And to not just have him as a mentor, but a voice to help me through the transition. I had his class when I was starting, coming on board with the play-by-play for the Royals. It was a huge help to making sure I got off on the right foot, and certainly somebody I stay in touch with to this day and is always grateful for it.
So you have a story. You have a story for each one of your. Sorry about that, Dan, but you have a story for each one of your of the players. Did your assistants help you compile all those stories, or do you come up with the story? Do you research the stories yourself?
I'd say there's definitely a deep dive I do on my end whenever a guy is named, to whether he's signed or acquired via trade. For broadcasters, when they come to visit here, or for the games, I do them remotely, but I always connect, of course, with the other broadcaster. We get in touch, whether it's a phone call, chat, a Zoom call like this, or if they're here in town, a bite of lunch or dinner. We go over the team and how everything's going, and might exchange some stories. But I do my best deep dive as possible. And the media sheets, which I'm looking forward to having that beautiful Next Home Brandywine logo attached to, that's going to be a chance for not just me to, of course, go through and remember some of those points of notes, but also fans to access, read up on, and learn about the players as well.
So you have a preparation with the broadcaster that you're broadcasting with before the broadcast.
Yeah, and you're talking about mentors across the board, especially here in our North Division. They are first class, A+, and to see some of the guys continue to grow and expand to American Hockey League roles, as well as the NHL recently. Mike Folta, didn't get a chance to work with him, but connected with him, now being the voice of the Utah Hockey Club after time with the Rockford last year and the Atlanta Gladiators when I first started here in the ECHL. They are a best point of an encyclopedia you can go to, of course, on another team. And I try and provide that just as much back to them. I feel it's only right. So I do my best homework on our guys as possible. So I'm ready to answer any question they have and provide something of interest.
Each time you do a broadcast with a different broadcaster, you learn something from them, and maybe they learn something from you too.
Yeah, my favorite is when I can connect with a broadcaster who just came off of a series against an opponent that's up and coming. So it's kind of that trickle down. We exchange stories, and it's always great to see them when they come to town to visit. That's something that's been wonderful to see the ECHL continue to do, is the travel aspect. I know many broadcasters have so many different hats. While I might have a lot of stuff here in Reading, some broadcasters handle the travel and the team services. So it's much more than popping on the headset for a lot of these guys I've the privilege of working with. And it's something here in Reading that, I've got the awesome experience to get on the road with the team in April down to Norfolk, Virginia. And that trip was an absolute blast. Getting a chance to see the behind the scenes, provide some of that coverage as well. Fans got a chance to see Shane Selder, Yvonne Mongo, 2 returning Royals. Go check out the shipyard down there. Really cool. As a history buff, I get it from my dad. For me, was awesome as well. Get a chance to get some warmer weather.
So the Landis family and I always, this is our hardest hitting question tonight here. This is our biggest pet peeve. Are you going to be able to travel at least some of the time with the team for the away broadcast? What's the word on that? That's our hardest hitting question of the night. What's the word on that? Because Deb and I always really think that you earn the right, and I know it's a financial restrictions. Everyone's got a budget. Are you going to be able to get on the road this year at least part of the time?
Well, I appreciate those kind words, Dan. And, of course, shout out to the entire Landis family. They are the absolute best. For the travel aspect, that is something that, connecting with our management and what's in the best interest of our team, there will be a couple chances to get on the road. But as mentioned, for the focus on the connecting with our community as much as possible and our front office staff, it is the most productive to be around here. Of course, being in the arena is the best for both the team and also myself, because staying on top of things, staying ahead of everything marketing-wise, community relations, that's first and foremost important most of the time, because at the end of the day, it's just a blessing to be on the headset. So make sure everything is taken care of properly. I always enjoy being in the arena and being in the office along with that. When the schedule works out and when I have the opportunity to get on the road, that's something certainly that we have talked about and looking forward to getting a chance to do a bit.
What you got, Bay?
I got 2 questions. Media relations wise, is it like just you, or do you like have a staff under you?
So for me, I have a team that has helped out, and that's
okay. So you have a team. So
that's been a growing aspect, yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, do you, at any moment of day, in the shower, driving back and forth to the arena, like, where you have like these moments where you're like, "Oh, that's a great idea," and it could be like the craziest idea, but you're like, "Oh, this is going to work. This is going to work," and then you bring it to the team, and they're like, Are you crazy? Like,
Those fun marketing ideas, I will say, are some of the most bizarre ideas I've had. And I will tell you, and no joke, everybody's all for it. You know, they'll chuckle, they'll laugh, they'll have a really kind of moment at first. But hey, whatever gets engagement, whatever gets clicks, whatever gets the needle moved, in the great words
yes.
of team store guy Greg Lewis, he loves to move the needle, and that's really important to do with a fan base that has so much to pay attention to, players moving here, players moving there. When you can make somebody laugh and also push, you know, the attention on upcoming games, that's always the goal. So the more
how about the lunch,
better.
the lunch truck, lunch bag bit you did with Dallin? I think it was with Dallin last year. The lunch, that was awesome. So maybe tell them that real quick. But this was a Bayism type thing that they did. It was just a nice little, as wrestling people say, vignette little bit that they did.
Yeah, so I will share. My dad and I, we enjoy both watching YouTube highlights of 90s goaltending saves, which, you know, Dominic Hasek has the entire stream of, but also we enjoy the ESPN office commercials. And for anybody who hasn't seen them, it's just mini skits. They'll bring in professional athletes, whether it be Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, you know, it goes back. Also a couple mascot appearances. And it just makes you chuckle, makes you laugh. And for here with the Royals and our incredible office team, I said, you know, let's take advantage of that. So both the mix of ESPN commercials, also, of course, the great show I enjoy, The Office. It's that style of showing a bit of our personality, because that's so important as well for people like Dan who come to so many games, who we are fortunate to have join us at so many networking and partnership events. For Dan, it allows them to connect a bit with our staff more than just somebody on the phone or over an email. And it goes to the same on the broadcast end of things, where I try and connect the voice of our partners and sponsors so that when they hear Dan screaming his head off in the stands on a Parker Hayden glove save, they'll recognize that voice on the broadcast the next home Brandywine. Something always cool to connect.
And I never yell at the officials. Never.
That was okay. This is now I have an extra question. Is there ever moments,
Dan?
Is there ever moments when you're in the box, you're in the booth, you're calling the game, and you hear Dan's big mouth screaming?
I'll say I'll look down and I'll see him with the Melvin hat, and I'll look over and Danny's sitting there next to him saying, "Don't embarrass me, Dad." And they're the best. And to have them up here in the booth, and I'll give you a little
Melvin.
So,
That's a hat.
I sit one section over. There's Melvin. There's the Melvin hat right there. So I sit one section over below him in our seats. Beg. So the Landis family sits in front of me. We got some other folks. It's like a family down there. We're not switching sections. We upgraded the club. Beg, you have another question? I want to talk about goaltending, the club level, some of the new arena stuff before we get him out of here.
Next question. You mentioned YouTube. This leads into it. And you said you and your dad watched like great, goal shots and the calls and all that. Do you do that for yourself? Like go back and research? You mentioned about being with taking a class with Mark from the Sixers. Do you do that? Like research the greats, the great, play-by-play commentators, and go back and just watch stuff on YouTube to try to pick up stuff?
I will say I do, yes, to answer your question, because there's a reason why they are the memorable voices of the NHL and are world-renowned among the entire sports broadcasting industry. Gary Thorne, Doc Emmerich, the great Gene Hart, those legends that have been just a small part of those incredible highlights, but for me, on the broadcasting end, are idols and the gods of the industry that I try to not just replicate, but I certainly work to incorporate everything they do so well into bits and pieces of my broadcast. I always heard from Mark Zumoff and from professors, try not to copy and paste, but there's ways of incorporating everything they do so well into the broadcast. So while it's might be adding the entire vocabulary of synonyms that Doc Emmerich so greatly used, spear down a puck, flick into the zone, all those great adjectives that you hear, and nothing better than a Gary Thorne goal call. those ways that they do so well of broadcasting is stuff I try and do my best with, but also, of course, have my own touch to it that I hope Royals fans have come to really enjoy and, try and continue to work with as we grow in the industry.
The Mark Zumoff, hold on, Ala, we're coming in for a landing. That's my favorite. Couple more things I want to touch on. I know Hub might have one more question. We'll get you out of here. We talked before we went live, the goaltending situation, which I thought was a little lacking last year from a fan perspective. So I got some inside information here for some people. We have, it looks like we're having some trickle down this year. We brought in Todd Skirvin, who's behind me in his enemy uniform of the Growlers, who have folded now. He is hopefully the new captain coming up this year. He's going to be a big part of the Royals this year. So we have a lot of new players. I think we added some toughness and some grit. So I saw we got Vinny came down, I think, from Adirondack. Am I wrong? And you know these names better than me. Papour, remember, I think he was with Adirondack. Erik, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. And then E2 McInerney. Oh, yeah, I couldn't be a play-by-play guy. Hopefully in the booth this year as a color guy. I won't mention names when I'm in there, make myself look stupid. But I'm looking. Flyers have a lot of goaltenders, and I think we're going to see a trickle down to the ECHL level. We had a lot of movement over the last couple of years due to injuries, and it's always good to have, extra hands, especially in that goaltender position. Can we talk about that a minute? And then what you see with this roster this year, we're excited. Royals struggled last year, no playoffs. We're excited about an improved roster this year for the 24-25 season.
For sure, Dan. Right now, 15 guys are on the current Reading Royals roster, and that is, of course, without the additions that we'll see from the Lehigh Valley Phantoms in the upcoming days and weeks. So as training camp is around the corner for the Royals, which will get going here in early October, right now the Lehigh Valley Phantoms are preparing to get their training camp up and going this weekend. So we'll see future Royals there in just a matter of weeks, getting some work with the coaching staff at the Lehigh Valley Phantoms American Hockey League level. Many guys who as well worked with John Tortorella and the Flyers training camp as well. So it's that work that the, of course, great Danny Briere right now does with the Philadelphia Flyers as one who saw everything come to fruition down at the ECHL level as a GM with the Maine Mariners. He understands the importance on the development aspect of an entire organization. So to have that at the forefront of the parent team and the Philadelphia Flyers, it makes a lot of benefit to the all-nice product for the Royals and, of course, gives something the fans to enjoy a lot of as well. So in terms of that goaltending room, it's quite busy, and it's quite built up now with the Phantoms, 5 total goalies. One with the Royals currently, Vinny Papour, as you mentioned, who was great with Adirondack last year. But you'll see a couple of those potential names right now with the Phantoms and at their training camp come down to Reading and will be a part of the goaltending unit as well, which should see a lot of strong names and with much experience. And as you mentioned, a couple of recent signings for the Flyers as well that will continue to grow the entire team.
Let's talk about some of the upcoming events. I know tomorrow night I'm looking forward to it. I'm headed out. I help my buddy a little bit with his transportation company. Heading out of there early, getting back. We'll be up there for the season ticket holder event tomorrow night, 4 to 7 up there at Santander Arena. So a lot going to go on. We're going to get to see the new club level. So we have club level seats this year, which is in addition to the 365. So you have season tickets. You're part of 365 club membership, which is a year-round events that we have as season ticket holders. It's like a family up there at the Royals. And then they have a new club section this year. So they have certain sections that have upgraded seats, and then we also have access to the new club level upstairs. I sent you guys a picture of it earlier. So the Landis family and I are staying put in our section. We're not moving to club because we take over our section, and we enjoy that. But we do have club access. So some of the upgrades, Erik, at the arena in general, just for enhancing the fan experience on a whole, which we always talk about. So we got new seats with cup holders. Danny's seat was broken half of last year. It had to be fixed 3 times. So we appreciate the new seats going in this year. I kind of like the rough and tumble style. It was like the old Spectrum, but we've upgraded a bit this year. We have a brand new suite level all the way around up there. I say we because we're part of the Royals family. and a brand new club level access for us to entertain guests for the Next Home people and my corporate partners. So touch on a little bit of that. And then we also have coming up I think it's a week or so out. They invite us all. We're going to Evolve, which is a simulator, a golf place, axe throwing, different things for the corporate partners. We always get last year we got Royals labeled wine with Reading Royals wine glasses as a gift from it was awesome. They always, Tammy and Amanda, and I deal with different organizations. Amanda Eckert, extremely professional organization, and they do make you feel like they actually care about you. And I'm having some trouble with some other organizations I deal with along these lines. Always with the Royals, it's a family from Greg to Tammy to Amanda, like Erik said. It's a good group. Everyone's got a specific role. It's a very professional group, accommodating group. So Erik, and that's kind of some of my notes here. We got the new seats, we got the new club level, and we have a ton of stuff coming up. I'm going to get this in. This is my Royals commercial. We have the Bay, maybe two after Erik talks. You mentioned we got the Big Six contest where we're giving away 2 tickets to the 6 biggest games of the year up in Reading this year. The teddy bear toss, which is always fantastic. We got the Pink in the Rink coming up this year as well. So many great things, so many great specialty nights up at the Royals. Greg's got some awesome jerseys. We got a little bit of a sneak peek this Saturday of the Star Wars jersey. I won't reveal what it is in case Greg didn't put it out there yet. It'll kill me. But so many great things along those fronts. Erik, maybe you could touch on the arena upgrades, the suite level upgrades, and some of the great new things. If you haven't been up to Reading, I tell you every year, it's like old school Flyers hockey. It's a lot of fun. You got a great young broadcaster in Erik, a family atmosphere, an awesome team store. It's a reasonably priced product. It's my entertainment. I love it. We can't wait for the season to start. Erik, tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that's coming up this season and the arena.
Yeah. I think what I'd love to do is start with a bit of my own, couple upgrades and some of the renovations we're doing physically to the broadcast booth here. I got some new additions and some boards to have some additional material, both to share, but also the growth on the broadcast end. We're looking forward to everything with Flow Sports as well as the Mixler streaming service. Working with Dan and Next Home Brandywine, continuing to grow what Next Home Brandywine can incorporate, and some other partners that come looking to get some engagement on the broadcast. That'll be some growth both on the TV and radio side, and as mentioned, working with the potential for some Flyers broadcast network coverage as well. Something to look and stay tuned for. But with the entire arena then, when you go to that, it's also, of course, the seats. And out with the blue, in with the new black. They're slick. They are very well cushioned, as you mentioned. The club seats have, additional cushion, but the cup holders for every single seat just adds that element that you might not think of when you come to a game, but it's definitely comfortable, definitely enjoyable to have a part of a game. Hopefully you're not sitting too much because there should be a lot of goals this year. And along with the additions to the arena, the entire suite and upper level looks really well done. And I do say that unbiasedly. The flooring, the panels, everything inside the suites is upgraded, renovated, new. And that club area, not only is the food going to be even somehow better, but also the entire experience in that club loft lounge is going to be exciting. So it's another way for fans not only to see the action, but also have that much better of a enjoyment when connecting with fellow fans, fellow partners, and certainly looking forward to getting that up and going at the very first game here at the newly upgraded and renovated Santander Arena on October 12th, which is just that $5 admission donation to Slapshot Charities. That's your admission to the game. So something we're very excited to do, and is your first chance to really check out everything along with the 2024-25 Royals, now under first full year head coach Jason Binkley, as well as general manager for Binkley.
I covered everything for me. Bay, you got any last questions? And Erik, we always appreciate your time and you joining us and kind of getting us kicked off here for exciting 24-25 Royal season coming up. What do you got, Bay? Any additional questions?
Get up.
Well, I was wondering if some of those ads that you'd read on AM radio, do they get picked up on nationwide radio networks? You might hear it in like the West Coast, East Coast, or all over Mid-America?
So it's really cool with the Mixler streaming app I mentioned is just a click. You don't need the app. That can be streamed anywhere. So it's awesome to see fans chime into the chat, and for families, parents of current players that are coming here from Gatineau, Quebec, and from wherever they might be tuning in from. A couple guys from, the United Kingdom. Parents, family, and fans can all tune in and hear the broadcast through Mixler, which allows you to connect wherever. For the Flow Sports end, it's really wherever as well for the streaming service. And that's why continuing to grow the broadcast end of things is so pivotal for me, because it makes the growth of not just, my product, but also the team, and for our partners like Next Home Brandywine that put their faith in what we're putting out there and what I make sure is tip top as possible.
We got Bay.
I asked all my questions.
So this year I will be with Erik in the booth for a 10-minute intermission interview. So we're looking forward to that. We're hoping to get on the broadcast for a period this year and join him in a color commentary position as well this year. Looking forward to that as well. So we look forward to our partnership with the Royals and integrating our brand. And you know why we do it? Because it's a like-mindedness with Next Home Brandywine and the Reading Royals. It's like us. We're a small operation similar to the Royals, trying to play in a big market. And it's quality of service and fan interaction and putting people first, just like the Royals do. And that's why when you do co-branded partnerships, you don't accept everybody, right? So the Royals, when we have those discussions every year, there's a level that you have to bring. And that's why we do these podcasts of service and quality. So when you're integrated, you represent the organization. When they allow you to be a preferred real estate partner, it means they appreciate what you do and how we present ourselves just as much as we appreciate what Erik and the team at the Royals do. So we got Erik, real quick recap. October 12th is our first preseason game, $5 donation to Slapshot Charities. Erik, October 20, what is our first game?
26
against Wheeling, is it?
Yes, that will be the home opener presented by Supportive Concepts for Families. Great group. So the 26th, you can mark your calendars for the home opener, block party right outside on Penn Street, and then a post-game fireworks show outside as well for an incredible night on the 26th.
And we'll be staying overnight probably.
Right, I'll be right there with you.
We'll be there at the hotel staying overnight and watching the fireworks, so I don't have to drive home that night. And we have nationwide referrals. It's something Erik talked about in Hub's last question. We're going to put that on our read this year because we do get crossover traffic from other network people from like the Wheeling and different broadcasts. They want to hear Erik. So we were going to put that out this year. We have nationwide referrals. We have multilingual agents to serve you. That's going to be part of our reads this year. So check me out. My live reads on intermissions. Erik does a starting goaltender read for us. And we look forward to our partnership with the Royals this year, and hopefully it's fruitful for everybody on and off the ice, and we sell some houses and the Royals win the Kelly Cup. So that's what we're looking forward to. Erik, much love for you, buddy. As you know, I really do appreciate you and the work that you do. It's a joy watching you grow as a professional and the quality that you bring to the Reading organization, the Royals organization. People like the Landis family and I and so many other people really do appreciate you and the job you do in the booth, and we look forward to the upcoming season.
Hey, right back. Love to all of you, and huge thank you for inviting me onto the show once again. Excited for a big season coming up. Can't wait to have Next Home Brandywine all the part of it. And Bay Hub, hope to see you guys out here as well, hopefully for a game. I know where Dan will be. He'll be right underneath me.
I'm there. We try to stay in our seat as much as possible. At the end of the season, I only flipped out once, Bay, last year. That was the end of the season.
Only once?
Yeah, Scott Landis almost had to put me back in my chair. But other than that, we were good to
Should we do an over-under for this season for flip-outs on Dan?
Usually I just enjoy my hockey, right? I got Erik on the Mixler app. I'm enjoying my hockey. But last year, and I will say this, Coach Binkley, the one night me and Danny were talking about it tonight, when he slammed the door, Erik, about 5 or 6 times, and I loved Binkley from that minute forward because he showed passion, enthusiasm, and that's what we love in our Royals hockey. Bay, sign us out of here. I thank everybody. Hub, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, buddy. I thank you for joining us tonight. And Erik, again, an hour of your time. It's important. We do appreciate you joining us and going over the 24-25 Royal season. Bay, send us home.
All right, everybody, there you go. Erik Jesberger, the voice of the Reading Royals. Make sure you check them out. It's a short drive from the Philadelphia area. Go out and have a great. It's inexpensive. It's more reasonable than going to the Flyers, and you can bring the whole family. A night of family fun, great, amazing quality ice hockey, and you'll get to see Dan possibly flip out. You never know when it can happen.
There's a jersey.
There
Won't
you
be
go.
much of that this year, I'll tell you that much.
Look for the hat and listen for the voice. And always remember, that leads you back to Next Home Brandywine and Dan Peasy, Humans Over Houses. Go to nexthomebrandywine.com. They are the preferred real estate partner of the Reading Royals. And let's not forget the guy below me. Happy birthday, Hub. You are the man. Love you, my friend. And until next time, guys, hey, nexthomebrandywine.com.
Thanks, guys. Good night, everybody.
Take care.